We're here at Fantastic Fest 2013, and we're so excited to have you here. I mean, the man himself for Through the Never.
All the necessary ingredients kind of culminated at the right time, and you know, we just kind of jumped at the opportunity, and now we have this incredible movie that we're so proud of.
Yeah, and I saw that all four of you have writing credits on the film. So how did that collaboration happen?
What we would do is we would walk into the movie theater with a pad, a paper, and a pencil, and just basically take notes while we're watching it, and just writing down all our thoughts and ideas and all the things that we felt needed to change or to be moved around or whatever. And at the end of every edit, we'd sit in that room and we'd just go around the room, and everyone would read off their notes and make further notes, especially Nimrod and his editor and producer. And then they would make the necessary changes and come back to us in like 4 or 5 weeks or whatever. And we'd watch the movie, same process again with a pad of paper and a pencil, making notes. And we did that over the course of like 8 or 10 months. And that's basically how we were able to shape the movie and steer it into the direction that made the most sense to us, and make it the movie that we wanted to make.
Yeah, and how important was it that Nimrod himself said he's a big fan of the band and has been, and so how important is that, because it's a movie for the fans?
Yeah, I mean, another thing that I thought was great about Nimrod is that he understands Metallica. I mean, he was a fan. It got him through school. I mean, he could relate to what our music had to offer as in terms of pure escapism. I mean, he recognized that aspect in our music, and so, you know, it was really, really easy to work with him. He had such a great collaborative spirit. We had such a great collaboration going between the four of us and himself and his team of people, and so, I mean, things really, really flowed, and I must say, I mean, I feel blessed, because I've heard of movie productions where things just like come to a grinding halt, and, you know, people get fired, you know, things get delayed, the budget goes through the roof. I feel so lucky that we're spared all that drama.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and this is a perfect place for this to go, for Fantastic Fest in Austin. And I know there's some things that probably, if you could stay longer, would be close to your heart. You got some good horror and stuff.
Yeah, you know, I wish I had more time here, but duty calls.
Yeah.
You know, I was looking through the program, and there was a bunch of movies I want to see. I mean, I want to see Green Inferno. I want to see Afflicted now, after hearing about how great it was.
But how is it for you still exciting after all these years? Because, you know, you obviously have to keep doing stuff to keep it fresh for you.
Well, I mean, a lot of it has to do with the fact that we genuinely love what we do, and we love the situation we're in. I mean, we've worked so hard, been through so many incredible ups and downs together. I mean, we appreciate what each of us has to offer and recognize this weird chemistry that we have when the four of us get into a room. And for us, I mean, that is so sacred and fragile and tender, and that we just kind of rally around that now. And that's what keeps us together, is protecting that precious thing that the four of us have when we get into a room. I mean, really transcends, you know, anything that any of us could do individually. I mean, and you know, that's probably a bold statement for me to make, but I know that I believe that, and I know that other guys in the band believe that as well. And so, 32 years into it, sure, I'm not done. I know those other guys aren't gonna stop anytime soon. We're gonna keep on going till we can't anymore. I'm gonna keep on going forward until I can't play another note.
Yeah, well, and success means something different to everybody, but for you, it's kind of, I mean, you've probably surpassed what you originally thought.
You know, when I first started playing guitar, and I made the decision to become a musician, I just wanted to become a good musician and eke out a living playing guitar. You know, I didn't have any grand expectations. You know, I didn't have any feelings of entitlement or anything like that. I just wanted to do the very best that I could do at any given time, and so, I mean, knowing that in my heart, I know that I come from a very pure place, and you know, I just feel very lucky and very fortunate to be in this situation.
Yeah. When you guys have the most intense, passionate fans of probably any rock band out there, and what is it like to experience that on that side?
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever get used to that?
It's a hard thing because it's ever changing. You know, sometimes when you go from point A to point B, you know, that 500-mile distance, the fans can be totally different. It's ever changing. For me, myself, I mean, I'm a very private person. I'm a true introvert, and so, you know, my emotional makeup makes it difficult for me to ever get used to that kind of thing. But you know, I've found ways to cope and deal, and so, you know, I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
You know, because being in the band has opened up so many incredible opportunities, you know, to just experience life and humanity in general. I mean, you know, the adulation, the fans, it's not a bad price to pay.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah, and you also have a book out as well, which
Yes.
you mentioned was that Chiller of your horror movie memorabilia. Is that
Yeah,
right?
Too Much Horror Business, and it pretty much chronicles my obsession with horror, anything that has to do with horror, and in particular, it showcases my horror movie poster collection, my horror toy collection, my artwork. I know there's other monster kids out there who sympathize with this stuff, you know, and it's my way of reaching out to all those people and saying, hey, you know, I've been in my little corner right here, my little closet here for the last 25 years, amassing all this really great stuff, and here we go, check it out. Isn't this cool?
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I know she had a couple of guitars too that have the great posters on
Yeah,
there,
for me, you know, the guitar thing is super fun because it meshes two worlds, you know.
I know you also have you've influenced a generation of guitar players too, including myself. So I mean, it's got to be nice to know that so many people out there have kind of followed in your footsteps. I know that you don't necessarily always like the spotlight on you per se, and kind of more of an introvert, but still, it's got to be nice to hear those kind of things, right?
I know the power of being inspired. When I first saw Jimi Hendrix on film, I was totally blown away. It was a different sort of thing than just listening to Jimi Hendrix. Mm-hmm. And I can still feel that today. So, you know, when people come up to me and say, wow, you've been a big inspiration, I mean, for me, I'm totally flattered. And, you know, I don't know what to say back. I don't know if I want to say anything back, you know. I just take it in and I say, thank you, man. And I'm thankful that I'm able to inspire people the way my musical heroes have inspired me. And, you know, in a certain way, I feel like I'm keeping the flow alive, you know, the flow of inspiration alive.
Yeah. What kind of what advice would you give to guitar players that are looking? Because it's a hard business.
It is a hard business, but I would say be patient, be persistent, and practice.
Yeah. What do you suppose it is from this set that you'll always take with you? And years from now, people ask you what you remember about this.
About this crazy stage set right there? Well, besides almost getting electrocuted, almost getting burnt to a crisp, and having, like, you know, 5,000 pounds of rigging almost fall on your head. You know, it is very cool being on that stage. Almost to the point where, you know, it can be a little daunting and distracting because you have to be at certain places at certain times, or else, you know, one of those things I just mentioned might happen. God forbid. But just being on that stage, man, was just a lot of fun. And at times it was distracting because the entire surface of the stage is a bank of video monitors, and a lot of the time there would be this incredible image that would be projected on the stage, and I would like go, "Whoa, that's really cool! Wait a second, whoa, that's really cool!" And like, it detracted me from my guitar playing occasionally, you know, a couple times. But very cool. I mean, super, super cool.
Do you ever worry about screwing up anymore? I mean, it's
you know, I screw up on songs I've been playing for like 3 decades, and I still wonder myself, why does that even happen? You know, and like simple things like an E minor chord, I'm like, oh, scratch my head, and then like 2 seconds later, I'll do this complicated thing, and it just rolls out of my fingers, and then I go to hit like another simple note, and I screw that up. You know, it's just the human condition. Mistakes make. You need mistakes to make the other stuff sound good. You know, mistakes make it sound human. It shows that no matter how much we try to be the perfect musicians that we are, shit happens. Yeah. You know, it just happens.
Now, the show is the Drew Pearson Show, and Drew famously caught the Hail Mary catch, and whether or not you're familiar with that, I think everyone has a Hail Mary moment in their life where they just kind of had to go for it, and it worked out for them. What do you suppose that was for you?
I have them all the time. Well, if you've ever been surfing, you run into a lot of Hail Mary moments, especially when it's big and pitching, and you're in shallow water. You know, there's a razor sharp reef, and you're wondering if there's sharks around, and a big set comes up, and you just turn your board around and start paddling, and hoping you're going to catch that big wave, because if you don't catch it, you're gonna get pounded by the 5 big waves that are behind that one. I mean, you're saying Hail Marys a lot.
Yeah.
Especially with Rob and I, a lot of times we get ourselves into surf situations that are not, you know, let's say you don't feel recreational in it. You feel very challenged, and you're face to face with your own fears out there, you know, and that's when I do have those Hail Mary moments. And you know, there's certain times when we're in a musical situation, and you feel like doing a Hail Mary, but then you think, wait a second, I just have to have faith, you know. And I think we all have a big degree of faith in ourselves and in each other that carries us through a lot of the time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Well, so now you guys have conquered movies, music, you've got books, you've got action figures, comics, like you've run the whole scope. So what would you like to do?
Broadway.
Yeah? Could happen.
What's next? Broadway.
Broadway, of course. Metallica the musical.
Yeah, why not? I mean, Green Day has a musical. Queen had a musical. The Beatles, God, their musical's still going, isn't it?
There you go. Okay, well, very last thing, when are we going to hear some new music?
We are going to give it an honest effort at the beginning of the year.
Good.
I mean, we started kind of like chipping away at it, you know, a while back, but the movie just kind of overtook us. I don't think we were ready for the amount of involvement that we experienced in the making of the movie. Yeah. It kind of just sucked us in, but now that whole production is nearing and closing to an end, it's all about just focusing on the next album.
That's perfect. Well, hey, thank you so much for being with us. Really appreciate it. All right, thank you.
All right, man. Cheers.